Welcome back to the channel. I'm Brian from Apex Auctioned Car Reconditioning. This is my furry sidekick Sissy, that's the shop manager, as always. Today we want to bring you a fun video, an important video. If you are about to look for a vehicle, a used vehicle, quality one for sale, I don't want you to purchase a headache, run into serious issues. So let me share vehicles that I avoid that have problematic engines and transmissions that have had catastrophic failures and are known to give you, issues and problems. That way you don't have to own the headache, in other words. Before we get into the video, I was asked, what tools do I take with me, besides my eyes, my ears, my senses, and the knowledge I've had through years and years of going to auctions, purchasing cars, flipping cars, and being mostly successful at it, not 100%. I've had my failures, but I've learned from them. So I will share today what I take with, what I carried in, and how I use these tools and instruments to help me make the right decision. Let's get into the video. These here are the most basic of tools that I take with me when I am hunting for cars, going to auction yards, lots, car lots, individual private sales. Sometimes I take more, sometimes I take less. This is the basic kit right here. Let's start off with the paint depth gauge. What is that? That shows me the depth of layers of primer, base coat, clear coat on the surface of a vehicle. So I know through experience what each car should have on it when I get a reading on the screen here. Each car has about 2 mils of clear coat, that's 2 mils right there. The thickness of a Post-it, well, actually not even as thick as a Post-it. And when I get readings that are above normal or below normal, I know the issues personally that the car has. If I get a spike in readings, instead of 5.5 mils on a Ford Mustang, if I see readings on here that are 12 mils, 15 mils, I know there's filler, there's Bondo in there, there's been a repaint, and there has been some serious issues. So that helps me with the body. And then also visual cues on paint, dust nibs, texture in paint. All paint has a little bit of texture. A little bit of orange peel texture, as you can see right here. If you had a vehicle where one panel has texture and another panel is completely flat mirror-like, it's been repainted. If you see dust nibs, runs, tape marks, overspray. So that takes care of the body. Then I know what I have in store for me when it comes from what's underneath the paint. The next real important piece of information that I want from a car is from the ECU and the running gear. And my Zurich ZR15S code reader does a great job. And it's middle pack, 300 some bucks. It's not the best out there, definitely not the worst. Just enough to give me enough information to make the call as to what issues the car may have mechanically. Also, I've had so many of these in my possession, and I keep going back to the NOCO. My favorite is the GB70. This is a boost jump start unit. These last, and I've been very happy with these. Next, I grab these Husky mats. I take 2 or 3 of these with. I throw these on the asphalt, dirt, stones, whatever I'm laying on to get underneath these cars. Gives me a cushion so it's comfortable, so I can take my time and not be in a hurry. Also separates me from maybe hot asphalt or the cold ground in the wintertime. While I'm down on these mats, I have these pen lights with lasers, or I have my favorite old, I can't believe it's hanging in there, this snap-on LED light here. So we have a broad range light on the side, and we have a more pinpoint light, just like the pen light here at the end there, and that helps me get up underneath the vehicles and look at the frames and undercarriage and suspension for rust issues or more. Also leaks oil leaks, transmission leaks, transfer case leaks, front and rear diff leaks. Helps me a lot. This kit is the bare bones minimum, and I either carry that in a backpack or a carry-on luggage pull behind with wheels, little storage bin. And you're allowed those in a lot of the auctions, and if they have security, they may go through it, but so what? And they'll let you know what they allow and what they don't. That's bare bones minimum, a kit that I take with me to help me, assist me to look into cars deeper than what my senses on me can take away from these vehicles. And I hope that helps you. All of this stuff can be found either locally, look at Harbor Freight, look at your local auto parts stores, or if not, Amazon should help you. If you have Amazon Prime, you're in good shape. All right, let's get to 5 vehicles that I avoid because of the transmissions and the motors that they have in them that are problematic, have catastrophic failures. Let's start off with the first one, and that is Ford F-150 250, E-150 250, and that's the 5.4 liter Triton engine. The 4.6s are okay, but the problem of oil pressure, the cam phasers, catastrophic failures, and guys, if these go, a replacement, $7,000, how quickly are you approaching the value of that vehicle just for the replacement? And I'm not even talking about labor. When we get into labor, it's another, what, 40%, 50% of the cost. You're then approaching the cost to replace the vehicle. So you have a throwaway car. So I just stay away from the vehicles so I don't have to make that type of a choice whenever I can personally. That's just me. If you have these types of vehicles that have these types of transmissions or motors in them and they're serving you well, I am so happy for you. I wish you the best in the future. Just keep maintaining them. That's all I can say. I'm not trying to put you down or the vehicle down. I'm just letting you know what I personally avoid when I go to auto auctions and private sales and car lots, and you name it. These vehicles, when you hear them run, they'll make a noise, there'll be check engine lights, they'll have a misfire. And these engines, because they fail at such a high rate, it's hard to find them because they're in such high demand. It's limited stock available and the price is through the roof. So that's the first vehicle that I stay away from. When I see them on the lot and I know they have either this transmission or this motor in them, I'm going to go to everything else that's on that lot and avoid that vehicle. The next vehicle is going to be because of the transmission, and you guys know how much I hate the CVT transmissions. And we're talking about Nissan Cube, Sentra, Rogue, Murano. Let me know down in the comment section what else has these CVT transmissions in them to stay away from, because nobody, and I mean nobody, as of this date that I made this video, rebuilds. They will not rebuild a CVT transmission. You need to replace them. You can get a factory rebuilt, $3,000. You can get a replacement, a newer one, with a warranty, $5,000. Now, you're approaching what the vehicle's worth at that time. So again, it's going to be a decision, do I replace this vehicle or do I spend the amount that this vehicle is worth to fix it? And I don't want to see you guys in that situation. That's hard. It's a heartbreaking decision. I've seen so many of my customers in this situation, and it's hard to see. So that's mistakes that I try to avoid, and I pass the information along to you to hopefully, you can avoid. These transmissions can start to give you signs that it's going to give out with shuttering while you're pulling out, putting the vehicle under load, slippage, a little bit of vibration, jerkiness when it comes to its shift, and even if you maintain them, that may not be enough to hold off that catastrophic failure. And I know I mentioned this in other videos, guys. Only a quarter of all of the drivers that own vehicles out there maintain their vehicle regularly without missing a beat. That means 75% of the vehicles out there or more are not maintained properly. They let the engine oil go well beyond, they just keep driving and driving. The engine oil level is low. It's dirty and needs to be changed. Transmission fluid, radiator fluid. I like to flush my brake fluid. Front diff, rear diff, differential fluid has to be changed. There's gears in there, there's bearings, there's clutch plates, there's chains, there's plastic chain guide rails. There's a lot of stuff in there and a lot of stuff in these newer vehicles, and you need to maintain the fluids with quality fluids, not junk fluids. Okay, that's enough of the CVT transmissions. You guys know I can't stand them. There's been one or two vehicles that I've had them in, and the worst problem I had was a jerking and a bucking problem. But I don't get many of them, to increase my chances of going through heartache and misery. So hopefully you don't either. Let's get to the next vehicle, and that's going to be, I have a list here of vehicles. So you can have Chevy, GM, and other makes and models and years that have these transmissions and engines in them. So I have a little bit of a list off to the side, so I try not to, so I can get all of the makes of the vehicles in here, so it covers these issues. 2015 Buick Encore, the Chevy Cruze, the Chevy Trax, GMC Chevy, the 1.4 liter Ecotec, and of course then it's going to be boosted with turbo. And when you have these small engines that are all turboed up, they go through a hell of a lot of stress. I love naturally aspirated engines myself. Again, it's a personal preference. A lot out there would disagree with me, but the naturally aspirated have so much less stress and worries for me as the owner. I just would rather have them. The 1.4 liter Ecotecs have a high rate of failure, and because of the high rate of failure, there's less of them out there to purchase, so you may be on a long waiting list if you can get one at all to replace them, and then they're expensive because that drives up the cost. You can absolutely go to a junkyard or a U-Pull it and get a used one. That's on you. That is your gamble, and it's a gamble because you don't know if that is going to be a quality engine just because the salvage yard says it is or shows you a video of the thing running before it was stripped apart. That doesn't mean it's that engine that was in that car. They just want to sell stuff and make money too, right? Maybe not all of them, but some of them. So yes, you can replace these catastrophic failures with used parts. I will only go used with a front diff, rear diff, and transfer case. Transmission, motor, I'm not going to take that gamble. I'm already gambling with the diffs and the transfer case. The turbos go on the 1.4s, the rings and bearings go through hell, and it's an engine I absolutely stay away from, and I try to remember the makes and models and years that this is in. By the way, guys, when they do go, and you can find one, $5,000 for a replacement. And it comes with a warranty, but that is before labor. You add labor into the mix and tell me how much more that repair is going to be compared to what the car is worth. And again, I don't want you to have to go through that. You have a family, you have young kids, you have expenses, you're on a budget. That is a decision I don't want you to have to go through. Number 4. And again, this is a group of vehicles, so I will have to refer to the list here of vehicles that have this engine in it. It's a group, and I'm getting older, so I can't remember all of these all the time. So the Buick Enclave, the Cadillac CTS, ATS, CT6, the Acadia, and the Traverse. Those are the familiar. You know exactly what I'm going to say next. The 3.6 liter V6. This is absolute garbage. Check engine lights, running rough, Just a terrible engine with catastrophic failure. Again, expensive to replace. You can gamble with a used one, but because they have that much failure, there isn't many to pick from. That drives the price up. You know, $3,000, $5,000 to replace it before you have labor tacked onto that. Unbelievable. Just stay away from the car and you don't have to worry about making a decision like that. Timing chain issues, rattles, it'll make noises. Timing chain guides. I've seen already up to $7,000 to replace a catastrophic engine like that before labor. And it's heartbreaking. Yeah, maintenance is important. And if you do regular maintenance, you may be able to avoid these problems. But I've seen these catastrophic failures even with regular maintenance done right. It will help, but with all the vehicles out there I mentioned earlier in this video that aren't maintained properly, that is one heck of a gamble. The next group of vehicles, so this is group number 5, is going to be the Dodge Avenger, Jeep Wrangler, Dodge, the minivans, Dodge Caravan, Town & Country, you name the others in that group that I'm missing. A common pattern, the 3.6-liter V6 for Dodge. That's junk too. Absolutely just garbage and catastrophic failure. Now, these are catastrophic failures, but some are able to fix them. They're cracks in the heads. And they can be, you know, welded, machined. That's not cheap. That's expensive. So there are more of those available if you need to replace them completely, but you're still looking at about $5,000. And check the price on getting these issues fixed instead of replaced. Not that far behind when you're talking about cost. And because of the crack heads, it's often mistaked, or what happens is head gasket has the same head gasket failure characteristics. Overheating, misfires, all of the common features of a blown head gasket. That's not fun either, and that's not a cheap repair either. Let's take, for instance, on a Range Rover, Land Rover, you have warped head because of a blown head gasket. You have to take everything apart. It has the overhead cams, so the chains have to be taken off. That is a $7,000 to $9,000 job. And that doesn't guarantee that the heads aren't warped and have to be machined and added onto that. So there are a lot of vehicles. So let's, just for another bonus, let's add Range Rover, Land Rover onto that list, because I'm saying the years 2010, 11, 12, 09, 08, because of the head gasket issues. So that's a bonus for you. By the way, those Dodge 3.6 liters, they are Fiat engines, and they belong in a dumpster and lit on fire and then recycled, melted down for scrap metal. I'm gonna give you another bonus, and this is a small group of vehicles. I've had Nissan Titans, the pickup trucks. This is a 5.6 liters V8s, gas engines. They've also been in the QX80s and QX56s, which I enjoy those vehicles. The motors are fine, but they can catastrophically fail because of what's attached to them, and that is the catalytic converter. So if you have a Nissan Titan gas, a QX80, QX56, Nissan Armada, that has that engine in it. Change out the catalytic converters after 50, 60,000 miles and save your engine. The converter can start to break up and all of that garbage can get sucked back up into the engine, and it is catastrophic failure. You're done. You cannot repair it. Once that happens, it has to be replaced, and you're looking at $7 grand minimum. So if you see the check engine come on, check engine light, you run a code and the O2 sensors are starting to fail, swap out the sensors, clean out the converter or replace the converter, and save your engine. Just a quick tip for you. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this video. I've given you groups of cars that have these terrible motors and transmissions that I stay away from, and I thought I would at least pass the information on to you so maybe you can stay away from them. If you have vehicles that have these engines and transmissions and they're holding up for you, cheers. I'm happy for you. This has been Brian from Apex Auction Car Reconditioning. I have the shop manager napping and resting next to me. She says good evening to you all, and we'll catch you in the next video.